Hey, how's it going? This is the second Yap session. I know I said I want to make more of these, and now we are making more of these. And I am not alone today. I am joined by my good friend, Mr. Michael, aka ToXiCdiamondmike. Say hello.
Yo, 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 yo,
There he
yo.
is. He's very excited to be here. He's been talking to me
Oh
about
yeah,
doing this for the past
oh yeah.
like week, but we've
Mm.
been we've been a little busy. But now we're not busy and we're not tired. Also, don't mind my attire. I just got back from a dinner. Also, don't mind the glasses. They're just blue light glasses. They're not prescription.
I was gonna question your what you were wearing for the
Oh
glasses.
yeah, well I just went out to dinner at like a semi-formal restaurant. So okay, but so basically what we're doing today is we snowballed back and forth a couple different ideas about what we wanted to do in this Yap session. Um, but we kind of settled on we want to put 100 different bands on a wheel and spin it and then narrow it down. Obviously, we'll keep narrowing it down, but the idea is that we'll talk about that band for a little bit and then move on because we have a lot of opinions, a lot of differing opinions on a lot of these bands, and yeah, I think it'd be interesting to have more because if it was just me doing this concept, it wouldn't be as interesting as if there's two of us. So okay, also, I'm gonna link Michael's YouTube channel in the description. Please check him out. I think he actually has more videos than I do. I I,
Yeah, you have more streams.
I have more streams. He has more videos. So yeah, check his shit out. All right, but without further ado, because I have a feeling this is gonna take a while, and I want to get to bed at a reasonable time since it is the 21st night of September,
Oh
and
yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire is not on this wheel, but Earth, Wind, and Fire, good fucking band. We should have put Earth, Wind, and Fire on this wheel. Also, to make this wheel, we literally just like, while I was at this semi-formal restaurant, started collecting just a big list, and then Michael helped me out with the end of it. But yeah, there are a lot of bands from a lot of different genres, a lot of different eras. So without further ado, let's
It'll be
begin.
fun.
It'll be
It'll be
fun.
fun.
And yeah, I'm very interested to see where this ends up going. But
Limp
starting off
Bizkit.
strong. Okay, Limp Biscuit. So, I don't have a very strong opinion on Limp Bizkit either way. I mean, obviously at the time and still they are very how do you say what's the phrase? Like they're very decisive. They're divisive.
Ah,
Because a lot of people love them, a lot of people hate them. They're like I think they're like one of the most do metal bands ever. I think.
100%.
Yeah.
Very unique sound, I'd say.
Yeah, unique sound, unique image with their fucking guitarist painting himself in black paint and fucking running around, and now he looks like a cowboy, and so does Fred Durst. They're fucking weird now.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, in the 2000s, I wasn't alive, but I've heard that you couldn't really escape them in the 2000s. Um, yeah, but
I
I don't,
I only like a couple songs. I'm not really heavy on this band.
yeah, no, I'm not really that big into them either. But I think that they are the most like if you want stereotypical new metal of like the late 90s 2000s like after it was like it reached its peak and then like now
Yeah.
this is where it was. um yeah, so that's probably the most we could say about Limp Bizkit. Fred Durst is a goofball. If you watch him try to do a guitar solo, it's like the worst fucking thing on the planet. uh
It's so funny though.
yeah, yes, they're a goofy band, but yeah, not bad, not great. So that's the first band to be removed. We'll move on. Also, for some reason, the sound of this wheel is coming through my speakers. Oh my fucking god. Oh, okay. It's the Ramones.
Okay, if we were at the Offspring,
The
I would have
Offspring.
had a lot to
Yeah,
say
I.
about the Offspring.
Yeah, we'll,
We'll get to that
we'll
whenever
get
we
to the
get
Offspring.
them.
But the
Okay,
Ramones,
the Ramones.
I'd
I
say
know two songs from the Ramones.
that's it.
Two. Yep.
What do you know?
I like uh, Blitzkrieg up and I want to be sedated.
Okay.
That's all I
Yeah, well, I also
I literally
know KKK took my baby away. You know that song is about I think the guitarist, I think Johnny Ramone's the guitarist. And who was the singer? Joey Ramone? Was that the singer?
I
I forget which one. Okay, the singer had a girlfriend, and then the guitarist stole the singer's girlfriend, and then they ended up getting married. And people speculate that the KKK took my baby away as a song about that like situation, but it's never been confirmed. But yeah, I only know a couple songs by them. I think they are the first punk band. I think they actually started doing punk earlier than the Sex Pistols, who are also on this list. But
oh
and
yeah.
I also think their music is better than the Sex Pistols. So I don't really get. I'll talk about it more when we get to the Sex Pistols. But I don't really get why the Sex Pistols have such a mystique around them, especially since the one guy was literally a fucking like, oh, was it Sid Vicious or whatever?
Yeah,
Was literally like a fucking criminal, like murderer or whatever happened with him. But yeah, I think the Ramones are the first punk band, and and probably one of the greatest, like
yeah, one of the more influential bands
for
for that
sure.
genre.
And like they also, it's not this that they like inspired punk, the original punk, but they inspired pop punk too, because their shit was just so catchy, and the vocals were like not just screaming, which was better than a lot of other punk bands that came after them. It was like they were so ahead of their time in the 70s that other punk bands didn't catch on until the 90s. It's interesting. So yeah, I think Ramones honestly underrated band. I got to listen to more Ramones, but
I
yeah.
would. I just don't have the thought of listening to
Yeah, facts. You don't think to listen to Ramones. Okay. Next spin. Let's see what we get. Oh, okay.
them.
Motley
Motley
Crue.
Crue.
Okay. Um they're one of these bands, and there are a couple on this list that I feel like every single person, especially people my age, had like a phase of listening to this band, and now I don't really anymore. Do you listen to Motley Crue much?
There's I mean, my favorite song by them is what is it? Shout Out the Devil. I love
Yeah.
that song.
Yeah, my
Um,
mom likes that whole album a lot, but
yeah, I first heard that song, Guitar Hero 2.
yeah.
Shout out to that game. They covered that song and I loved it. So that's when I first heard Molly Crew. Kickstart My Heart I think is a pretty
Kickstart
solid
My
song.
Heart is a great song.
Girls Ghost Girls, solid.
Yep. You ever heard their cover of
Like
Helter Skelter?
yes, I have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I
good
love that.
cover. Um,
Oh, yeah, I think they're a solid band.
I
There's
think they're a great band.
lead singer.
Probably the
Lead singer's
best,
pretty good.
probably the best hair metal band.
Mm, I
Better
agree.
than Poison. Better than who else was a hair metal band? Cinderella. Like all those other bands. I think Motley Crue was the best of them. But nowadays it's kind of sad. Their bass player like doesn't really play. It's like a backing track or whatever. Like it's not real. You know that, right?
Yeah, like just like I
And their guitarist, like I don't know if he died or if he just got cancer or what happened, but like he had to like quit the band. It's kind of sad nowadays, but yeah, in the '80s they were super good. So yeah,
yeah.
good band.
Vince Neil's a pretty solid singer too.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
He
Now
was a
he
solid
was a
singer.
solid singer. He's kind of in the same boat as Axl Rose, where his voice was so particular to fit like a 20-something-year-old dude that once they were like 40, they were like, just fucking, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
So, all right. Yeah, but no, Molly
solid
Cruz,
band though.
solid band, solid band. Yeah, we've only gotten like solid bands. I want to get like a great one or a terrible one. I want something interesting. Okay, we got another solid band, the Cranberries.
Okay, Cranberries.
Um, I think I like them maybe more than you do.
Well, you definitely do.
Yeah, like because I'm guessing you know like Zombie and Linger, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I like Dreams too.
Yeah,
I'm
Dreams
just,
one.
I like that. Like they have really solid songs.
Yeah,
I
they
mean, obviously, I'm not heavily into this band. Just
yeah
haven't
they're more
gone into them, but I think they have some pretty good songs.
yeah because your taste lies more within like the heavy stuff, I feel, or like the more poppy stuff. If you're going for soft, you're going for poppy. I like a lot of dream pop stuff. So their stuff is a lot of that dream poppy kind of vibe and that '90s alternative kind of vibe, which I really like a lot. And the strings that they use and shit, like "Ode to My Family" is one of my favorite songs. "Ode to My Family" by the
Solid.
Cranberries. And they have an acoustic version of it, which is also really good. But yeah, I really like the Cranberries, and I figured that you would like know only a couple songs by them, but I like
Yep.
even some of their deep cuts. Like they have this song "Salvation" off of "To the Dearly Departed," which is really good. It's more like punky ish, but yeah, they have a ton of different sounds. Dolores, their lead singer, was a phenomenal singer. It's so sad that she
Yeah.
died.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah, then Bad Wolves made that really fucking terrible cover.
It wasn't that bad.
It
Honestly, for like I think they made it work,
they
but it wasn't like great. I
it was
don't think
unnecessary is what
it
I
was
think.
unnecessary, but I think they did fine with it. I think
That's fair. It's not unlistenably bad. It's not like Puddle of Mud covering About a Girl, but it's not like Jimi Hendrix covering All Along the Watchtower. Like it's not a great cover. It's not a abominable cover. It's just okay. It's like okay at best, I'd say. But anyway, yeah, Cranberries phenomenal band. Next spin.
all right.
Bro, it's so annoying that this is coming through my speakers because it's like 10 o'clock at night. But
Why is it
okay.
coming through?
I have no fucking. I actually don't know.
Oh,
System of a
System of a
Down.
Down.
Okay.
Yeah. Now this is a great band.
Yeah.
One of the better bands, in my
One
opinion.
of the best new metal bands. I think probably
100%.
the most talented singer in new metal. Chester Bennington better. Hmm.
But he has a very unique
Yeah,
voice. Honestly, he
distinct,
has high
super
range.
distinct voice. Operatic.
Very yeah, very
And so does
very
so
good.
does Darren too.
Yeah, Darren. Yeah,
And he's got a unique guitar style.
they're definitely a duo with harmonizing.
Shavo, their bassist, is super good. Who's their drummer? Do you know? I forget their
What'd you
drummer.
say?
Their drummer. Who's their drummer?
Oh, their drummer. What's his name? John Doman.
Oh,
Damn,
okay.
what's his name?
Yeah, well, yeah. So Shavo and John Doman, they're really good rhythm section to back up Darren and Serge. But yeah,
I think it's Dolmayan. I think that's how you say
Domain.
his last
They
name.
all got fucking weird names in that band. um,
Man,
but yeah, their first album is really good, super just new metally. Their second album kind of like takes it in new directions, which is interesting. Um, and that's their I'd say
I think
Toxicity is their best album. I'd say.
I 100%,
Yeah,
one
because
hundred percent,
cause like
no doubt.
I think I'd sooner listen to the entirety of Toxicity than the entirety of their first album. So yeah, I think that's a fair. Remember when we made Caleb like listen to the entire and he listened to the entirety of Toxicity in like one period, like 3 years ago or 2 years
It's
ago now.
it's just like an album with just like songs you could never skip. Honestly,
Yeah, exactly. It's just a no skipper album.
it's just a no skip album. Like honestly, they really cooked with this one.
Yeah, yeah, and then
Steal this album. Like I don't hate the album. I
which
wasn't
one?
really into that one. Steal this album.
Oh yeah, no. I never really. That was like just them being goofy, really. And the whole point of it, you know why it's called Steal This Album is because like of the online like sharing shit. So I think they honestly kind of fucked with their fans just by making it kind of weird music, so that like if the fans like stole it online or whatever, it would still be just fucking weird music. And then Hypnotize and Mesmerize. I like Hypnotize more than Mesmerize personally.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, Mesmerize is the one with violent pornography on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Hypnotize more. It's more
Hypnotize.
straightforward.
The single Hypnotize is a really good song.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Love
in
the video.
Rocksmith. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lonely Day is a good one.
Lonely
Love
Day
that
is a
song.
good song. Yeah, they don't have a bad album really.
Like like
Still, this
Mes
album's just okay.
yeah, Mesmerize has they have like violent pornography and
And
BYOB.
BYOB.
POID is a good song though. I really like
That's
that
another
song.
song where I had a phase where I really liked it. I don't like it as much anymore. I don't know. System of a Down is a weird. They're purposely a weird band.
They're
Um,
like
but they're incredible musicians, obviously, and yeah, one of the best new metal bands for sure. One of the best California bands to ever come out of Cali too. Yeah. So, all right,
are you next?
moving on. What?
I was just saying next. Let's see
Yeah,
who.
let's say who's next. Van Halen. Okay.
Alrighty.
Um. Well, their guitarist is probably the third best guitarist of all time.
Yeah.
I'd say it's
Overall.
Hendrix, Page, Halen is the top three.
Fair enough.
Um, I do think that they get a bit overrated, especially since like their first album is by far their best. Um, and then they only had like a couple singles after that were like super like top notch, I'd say. And then like in the '90s, it was really fucking weird what they were doing. I don't know. I don't really listen to anything past their first album, and then like what was it, 1985? That album with the baby smoking cigarettes. Was that
Yeah.
1985? Yeah, and Panama and Jump on that one. I mean, you do have to give them
Random.
credit. You have to give them credit for making Jump, which literally is in every single
Every gym
movie,
class.
well, every gym class, and every movie that has a scene that takes place in the '80s has Jump in it. Like it's incredible how they've done that, and you have to give them credit for that. But
So it's a song. It's song. It's just like it's one of those songs that you just hear a lot to where like just like
yeah, no, it's getting numb
can't
to it.
really get into it yet. Yeah.
It's kind of has the same kind of air to like a Bohemian Rhapsody type of thing, where it's
My
just
wait, what were you saying?
I was saying it's got the same kind of air to like a Bohemian Rhapsody type of thing, but instead of like knowing all the words, you just know the beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Similar kind of vibe. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah. My favorite song by them. It's honestly like a song that I wouldn't say many people know, unless it is a very popular song. I really wouldn't know
Which
it,
one
but
is
I
it?
love the song. When it's love. Yeah,
I
on
don't know
the
that song.
OU812 on the OU812 album. That song. I love that song.
I don't know that
I
one.
like because my dad showed me it to me,
Ah,
and
okay.
I kind of just got hooked on it for quite a while. I remember like going on vacation one time and just like listening to it over and over again in the car. Like
Yeah.
it's a really good song. You should listen to it at some point.
Yeah, they seem like one of these bands that like absolutely have incredible deep cuts that like just no one knows, and like because everyone just knows their hits. But like for me, like Hot for Teacher and Panama, and obviously like fucking Running with the Devil and shit. Like
Running with the Devil is such a good
Running with
song.
the Devil is such a good song. Oh, I see you sent I see you sent me the Spotify link. Well, I'll give that a listen
Yeah,
later on. But yeah, Van Halen, great band, great guitarist. David Lee Roth, great singer.
just
Yeah,
a really influential band on, for the genre itself too. One of the more influential bands. And
yeah, for sure. Well,
really
Eddie
want
as a guitarist, like inventing tapping, basically. Well, I mean, the story behind tapping is weird. It's like Jimmy Page did it like accidentally, and then Van Halen like took it and like did it on purpose. That's kind of like
yeah.
the story. But yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, Van Halen, solid band. Let's move
Oh
on.
yeah. All right, let's see.
I really don't know why this sound's coming through my speakers. Oh, oh,
Oh, you have a lot to say about
I,
this
I
one.
actually think I'm going to make a whole video just about Kid A by Radiohead, and Amnesiac because they kind of go together. But yeah, my favorite band ever, and I think one of the greatest
That's
bands
solid.
ever. Um, yeah, what is your favorite album by then? Is it OK Computer? I'm guessing.
It it was like between. I mean, I mean, I never really like thought about my favorite album, but OK Computer, I could definitely say would probably be that honestly, because I like a lot of songs
Yeah.
from that
What
album.
about the Bends? You like the Bends too?
The Benz, that is a solid album,
Yeah.
but I do like OK Computer more.
Yeah, no, that's fair. A lot of people that
Yeah, it's
like
solid.
Yeah, yeah, Kid A and Amnesiac, you need to really have like a certain. I hate to be pretentious like this, but it does really. You need a certain taste to like those two albums, especially coming from a band like Radiohead. Um, because it's so funny to think about those in the context of when they came out. Like, OK Computer dropped, and then 2 years later, they were dropping fucking everything in its right place. Like that sounds nothing even remotely like OK Computer. It's absurd. Um, but yeah, I can make a whole video just rambling about Kid A and Amnesiac. But let's move on from that. You also
Okay.
have like In Rainbows, which is also an incredible album. Also, like that's one of the like indie staples. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I made this joke in the last Yap session about like required reading, where it's like you had to have like read To Kill a Mockingbird or like 1984 or something. It's like just certain books that like are required reading. And I said like that the video I mentioned in the first Yap session that was like required listening. I'd say that In Rainbows for any like indie kid that was into like indie rock stuff, all of them listened to In Rainbows and cite it as like an influence. Um, so yeah, super like beyond influential group.
What
Uh,
would you say is your favorite song by them? Like, if you have
if
one,
I
or is there just a lot?
In Limbo, absolutely off Kid A. In Limbo by Off Kid A is a great song. Yeah, I mean I love the whole album obviously, but In Limbo is probably my favorite. I learned it literally like such a long time ago, and still when I pick up the guitar, the main riff because it does this cool chord thing. I'm gonna talk about it probably in a separate video, but yeah, I love In Limbo off Kid A, and Amnesiac is a super underrated album. I'll probably talk about that too, but yeah, overall, Radiohead's my favorite band, and I think everyone should at least give Kid A shot, or and OK Computer if not Kid A, and the Bends, and In Rainbows, and a Mood
The whole
Shaped
band
Pool.
itself,
Just a whole discography. Just
their
listen
whole
to it.
discography.
Yeah. But all right, let's move on from that because I can go for fucking days about Radiohead. Um,
Jesus. Okay,
it's
Deftones.
looking like Deftones. Okay.
Oh, this is another band you were
Yeah, I can talk.
pretty heavy on.
It's funny. Um, Deftones might be like the most influential band for me. Um, I'm not talking about like my music, like the music I make, like particularly, but like for my taste in music because like I specifically remember because my favorite genre is shoegaze. I remember the first time I heard that word was watching a video about the history of Deftones, and they were like, "Oh, they melded genres of new metal and like alternative and shoegaze." And I was like, "What the fuck is shoegaze? That sounds stupid as shit." And and then I started actually listening to it. I was like, "Holy fucking shit!" So yeah, Deftones and Radiohead both kind of influenced my music taste probably more than any other bands. But what
Yeah.
would you say is your favorite shit by them?
My favorite what?
What your favorite like song or album by Deftones?
Song for Deftones. Honestly, they kind of switch like a lot.
No, that's
I would
fair.
say for I would say right now it was either gonna be uh Digital Bath or Elite on White Pony.
Yeah.
Because that
Uh
album
huh.
is solid.
Uh huh.
Love that album.
Fuck yeah.
Love that album.
Wait, do you like? Oh man, Korea off that album? I think that's like one of their heaviest songs. Is
Oh yeah.
Korea? It's so dissonant and shit. But I just recently listened to Gore for the first time because like I heard it was their worst album, so I never bothered listening to it much. And then I actually listened to it and I was like, oh my god. Like Prayers, Triangles, and Phantom Bride and Acid Hologram off that album. Also such bangers. Hearts Wires. Um, yeah, Gore is a great album. Saturday Night
What's
Wrist
the
is so overhated. everyone, if they don't say Gore is their worst album, they say Saturday Night Wrist is their worst album. That is a great album. Like, I know that it has some rough moments and some forgettable moments, but overall, like, I'd say it's still a good album. And obviously, their first two albums were more new metal-y, like straightforward new metal, like Adrenaline and Around the Fur. But they're also solid. Like, I think Adrenaline has some of my favorite like early new metal, and it's also one of the first new metal albums I think because it was like Korn came out with their self-titled album in '94,
Yeah.
and then Deftones came out with Adrenaline in like early '95. So it was like around the same time. Um, and yeah, they're one of my favorite bands too. One of my favorite,
But
definitely my favorite
uh,
alt metal
oh yeah, yeah.
band. What were
I
you
would
gonna say?
say like on Saturday Night Wrist, I would say mine. That
That's
song
such a
I
that's
love
such a good
so
song,
much, bro.
with Surge on it too. He does
Yeah,
some
Cherry
vocals.
Waves is a good song.
Cherry Waves
Yep.
is very good. Hole in the Earth, the opening track is really good. Kim Dracula is really good. Riviere, the last song on that album, is super good. I was thinking about actually doing that for Madrigals, but I'm decided against it.
Oh,
Um,
really.
yeah, no, I'm gonna probably do something else, but um, yeah, they're definitely my
But yeah,
favorite alt metal
yeah,
band for sure. And they're
this
going on
band, they're
tour,
definitely a good. Oh
and
yeah,
they're going on tour next year, and I'm very excited because I'm probably gonna go, and I'm happy. And you might go with me.
oh yeah.
We might have to go together. But anyway,
We should go.
we're getting besides ourselves.
Yeah,
Deftones, fucking great band.
very great band. Yeah.
One of my favorites. All right, let's see if we get like one of your like. Nope, it looks like we're getting. Oh, what's it?
No,
Fall
Fall Out
Out
Boy.
Boy. Okay.
All right, this is a band. Honestly, I could say I I enjoy very much. I think it's
Uh huh.
pretty. I don't know, just like it's just something I can really just listen to and just enjoy while just doing something. I don't know, like in the background. They're just that type
Yeah,
of
well,
band.
you like their newest album, I heard. I think,
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah,
I
a mutual friend said that you both listened to it, and yeah,
yeah,
but
their new album, so much full Stardust.
yeah,
I do think is very solid, and I recommend it. Well, it's not really their new album anymore. It's
yeah,
just
it's not their newest
their
album.
their most recent one, 2023, and I do recommend it. It's very solid.
Yeah, it's definitely a return to form because I think the one before that was Mania, I think it was, which
Oh,
had like
Mania.
it only had that one good song. We're just the
Yeah,
last
you
of the
like
real ones.
yeah, you showed me like one song that you loved
It
so
was in
much from that.
it was in 2K19. Last of the Real Ones from 2K19. That was a good song. That was the only good song off that album, I'd say though. They got a bit too poppy-ish in like the mid to late 2010s, but they kind of came back to their more rootsy kind of shit with their newest
Yeah, they
album,
were
which is good.
yeah, they were better. Their genre was like much better before 2010s.
Yeah.
Yeah, Infinity on High, like from Under the Cork Tree, like
Under the Cork Tree's
oh,
such a good album.
those albums were
Dance Dance,
so good,
fucking
bro. Like should we go
Dance.
going down like
Yeah, absolutely.
you can't go wrong with these songs.
Yeah,
They're just really good.
top tier like pop punk emo shit for sure. Holy shit, MCR is not on here. That's diabolical.
That's crazy.
That's diabolical. Um, well,
I'm actually shocked.
yeah, wait, I can't believe we didn't put MCR on here. Well, anyway, MCR also incredible emo pop punk shit.
Yep.
Um, have you seen the clip of like FaZe Rug and in like the store with who's that like emo influencer? Do you know the clip I'm talking about where he's like, "Oh yo, I love MCR," and the guy's like, "Oh, I bet you don't even know a song." He's like, "I know Helena," and he goes like, "It's Helena." Like,
I haven't seen the clip.
it's fucking
Very
goofy,
funny.
but
That's actually my brother's favorite song.
like ever
Well,
or just by
not
them?
ever by the
By
band.
them, okay. I was gonna say ever. That's kind of.
No,
I mean,
no.
I could see why, but
No,
mine is
from the band. From the band.
Yeah, but MCR is also very good. Pop punk emo. That's kind of the era of like between when like pop punk was turning into emo. I think was the best era of emo, if that makes any sense. Because like once it got into full scale emo, it was kind of cringy. But like when it was still like transitioning between pop punk and emo, that's when it was at its best in the early 2000s. But all right, yeah. So that's Fall Out Boy slash MCR. Since I know they're not on here, which is disappointing. I can't believe we forgot them.
I can't believe we forgot about. Let's see. Oh,
Oh, this might be.
oh,
Oh, Perfect Circle. We could both
oh,
talk
okay.
about them.
Perfect circle. Alrighty.
Yeah, Maynard James Keenan is one of the best singers of all time. Um, their album, I think 13, yeah, 13 Step, uh, great album
2003. Very, very good time for them, honestly.
because they made that album. Good
Dumb.
time.
But like even their first one was good. I like.
Yeah,
I like
well,
that one.
Mare de Noms, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Mare de Noms, yeah. Judith, obviously, and then what was that other song that was on that more acoustic song that was on that album? Uh,
One.
on Mare de Noms,
Oh.
it was more acoustic. Um, oh, Three Libras, that's a good one. Um, yeah, but they have some deep cuts that are super good too. On Emotive,
Yeah.
the last song, Fiddle and the Drum, is like a cover of like a folk song, and it's actually really fucking good. And yeah, and obviously 13 Step is phenomenal. Pet, such a good song. Outsider, obviously. The Noose, Weak and Powerless. They just have so many bangers, and
Pet
it's
is like
it's obvious.
so good.
It's absolutely the best Maynard James Keenan side project, other like away from Tool, is absolutely Perfect Circle because Pucifer is just fucking weird if you listen to Pucifer. But yeah, they have a song. They have the album called like V is for Vagina or something. It's fucking weird. But yeah, that's Perfect Circle. Do you have any like thoughts on them other than that?
uh, Not in particular. I would say Pet is probably my favorite
Yeah,
song.
Pet is my favorite by them
Pretty
too.
solid.
Yeah. Killer riff.
All right, let's see it.
Oh, this is looking like the
Oh,
Olympic
oh,
band, the Olympic band themselves.
Feel Gojira.
Yeah, fucking.
No, yeah, this band is solid. Solid band.
What genre would they be? I guess they're kind of just like heavy metal. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
they have
I
some
guess you
groove
could say like
metal like influence.
progressive metal. You
Yeah,
could say.
prog, kinda. Especially early on, like what was it? The Way of All Flesh. Um, fucking Toxic Garbage Island is so good. I remember we sat in Caleb's car and just listened to that. Yeah, Toxic Garbage Island goes super hard. And then obviously Magma is such a good album.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of more on their like basic side, but Lowlands off that album is super good.
Oh yeah.
And of course from Mars to Sirius, that's like probably the most. What is the heaviest they've been?
Heaviest they've been.
It's probably from Mars to Sirius. I mean that
Uh,
or
it's honestly in between. Like I would honestly the way of flesh of all flesh
the Way of All
or
Flesh or from Mars to Sirius.
or yeah like
But L'Enfant
like on
Sauvage too, like that title track. Um, it's like creepy. It's only the French can pull that shit off. But yeah,
this band is
I haven't
yeah pretty solid. Really
I haven't listened to Fortitude like in a while.
Fortitude. Yeah, I never really like got into this album, but like I've never really listened to all these songs, but I'm sure it's solid. I just
Yeah, I
haven't
know Caleb
gotten
likes
to
it.
listen to it.
But yeah, and obviously we cannot forget the Olympic song, the only good part of the opening ceremony. Um, and now it's on Spotify, and now they have like 3 million monthly listeners, which is insane for a band like Gojira. But
Yeah, they're pretty good too. Honestly, like not many people know this band.
well, a lot more people do now because of the Olympics, which is awesome. I think that's one of the coolest
Yeah,
things. And it's
they
it's
they
funny.
deserved it. They deserved
It's funny because like now it's like because my dad would tell me about um how like during his time, well, obviously during his time sounds fucking terrible, but like in the 80s when he would listen to bands like Slayer and shit, there was the whole satanic panic with like, oh, if you listen to heavy metal, you're a Satan worshiper. And nowadays the same kind of thing is happening where like Gojira, when they played that on the Olympics and like there was all the beheaded people or whatever was happening there, everyone's like, oh, that's satanic imagery. It's like it's a fucking metal band, dude. They're not Satanists. They just play heavy metal and they're French and they're edgy. Like that's just what they are. You know? So it's kind of like it's repeating the fucking same shit that happened in the 80s. So
it. Yeah, it's all a band. I like them a lot.
yeah, but for sure, one of the best modern, like just straight up fucking in your face metal music, and also great environmental message. Oh, are we getting the cheater?
Yeah,
We're
we are.
getting the cheater. Yeah. So
I'm not even gonna lie with you. For this band, I like. I'm not like. I never really like got into this band that much. There are a lot of songs that I do like. Well, not like a lot, but like a good chunk of songs that I really like. But, like I just never really got into them where I would just listen to them a lot, and I don't even really know many songs of every album to be honest.
yeah, they definitely have their bangers, and that's like the. I do think they're probably the like they have stood the test of time better than any other like post grunge band, if you know what I mean. Like their music is definitely more accessible than like post grunge that was the other post grunge that was coming out during the same kind of time. But yeah, of course they obviously have you know the song every guitarist goes to drop D and just does Everlong, and then they ask their drummer to play it and it's fucking hellish. I know. I'm not a drummer, but I know that it's hellish. Um,
The drummer. Wait. Oh wait, do you mean like the drum one or the whole one?
what? No, I'm saying if you're a drummer, it's hard to play Everlong.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
No, I wasn't talking about Taylor Hawkins. I'm just talking about. I'm saying that like every guitarist ever that wants to start a band with their friends will learn Everlong and then ask their drummer to learn it, and it's like hellish to play. I know, but I'm not a drummer. But I know for like you would know that it's hard to play. Yes, would you say
it
that?
gets easier, but it's definitely not an easy song.
Well, for a beginner drummer, for like a child, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't even recommend it for beginners.
Well, no, but I'm saying like because it's an easy song to play on guitar, and it's very well known, but it's not easy for drummers. Is my point. So it's like a
It's
funny,
definitely good practice for 16.
I suppose. Yeah, and then they have obviously the Color and the Shape, just a great overall album. The Pretender was a great song off Echoes, Silence, Patience, and Grace. I'll Stick Around off their debut. That's a banger. You know that one? I
Oh yeah,
don't know you anything.
it is in one of my playlists. I forgot which playlist it's
And
in.
underrated as fuck song. My mom actually is the reason I know this song. These Days off Wasting Light. Do you know that
The
song?
album, I'm like, the album, I'm not even like that familiar with.
Okay, I need to send you this song because yeah, These Days is might actually be my favorite song. I think it actually is my favorite song by them. Um, it's like got this super good dynamic to it because it goes from this sort of like quiet ballady thing to this super in your face rock, but the like as a musician, the harmonies they use with the vocals over the guitar and I think they actually have two guitar parts going through the whole thing, and they like layer on top of each other. It's super fucking cool. And also being a lover of like shoegaze, when you hear like a pretty melody with distortion and it's just like this wall of sound, it's just fucking awesome. And they kind of do that on this song. So yeah, so These Days probably my favorite song by them. But yeah, overall great band, probably one of the best rock bands around. And Dave Grohl
Yeah.
is still fucking awesome, but he did cheat on his wife, which is not awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
but one of the more influential guys after being a member of Nirvana. Yeah.
yeah, for sure, and it's a really interesting story how he went from Nirvana to Foo Fighters. Like he came up with that name as a goof, and he only came up with it because he didn't want to go under the name Dave Grohl. Like he wanted it to sound like it was a band, even though it was just him at the time. And then it did become a band, which is awesome. Um, yeah, so Foo Fighters, great band. Dave Grohl needs to apologize to his wife. Um,
Let's see.
uh, Black Sabbath,
Black Sabbath. Oh, now this band, one of the most influential bands
of course,
of
yeah,
this entire genre.
easily. They're the first metal band. Um, I'd say yeah, for sure, and massively influential. They created they created heavy metal. They created stoner rock. They created doom metal. They brought Ozzy Osbourne into the spotlight, who would then go
Create his
on
own
to
band.
create his own band and create his own sound, and that would also influence people. Overall, like Tony Iommi's great guitar player,
Oh yeah.
Geezer great bassist. I forget their drummer's name.
I think you forget a lot of your.
I forget a lot of drummers' names. It's not on purpose, I swear. It just works out that way.
Bill Ward.
Bill Ward, yeah. But yeah, absolutely. It's extremely influential, and their music still holds up today. Although I do think that the recording quality is a little rough, but I mean, it was also 1970. You can't really blame them. Um,
Pretty well.
yeah, but my favorite song by them is probably Nib, Nib.
Hmm.
You know,
I don't really have a favorite song by them, but they have really good songs.
yeah, and War Pigs is really good too. A bit
That
long.
was the first song I ever heard. Cause I was listening to
Really?
Guitar Hero.
Oh, I was a Guitar Hero. The
Yeah.
first song I heard by them was absolutely just like Paranoid, but that's like the first song everyone's heard by them. So yeah, but Black Sabbath, massively influential, massively incredible. Also, we've been recording for like 40 minutes and they're not even like remotely close to done. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
This band.
All
This
right,
band
I'll let you start this off.
is just like for like in the 2000s. Honestly, like they just I feel like they completely revolutionized their genre. Just with
Absolutely.
when they started in 1998, their self-titled album, I thought, I still think that self-titled album is one of their best albums of all time.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
I just,
It's one of the best new metal albums, and it's like their debut, which is crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, Eyeless is still a fucking banger,
such a good
banger,
album.
banger, banger. Um,
Subliminal Verses,
Iowa, Iowa.
all
We can't forget Iowa. Um, literally went to I think number 3 on the charts, and it had fucking blast beats all over the place. Like no other band has done that. I don't think. I can't think of another band that's done that.
bro. People Equal Shit, Masterpiece, Heritage, bro. It's like or Anthem, I mean, not People.
Yeah,
Those songs like those are my favorite.
and Iowa, like the title track. Literally, it like has Corey Taylor like cutting himself with a beer bottle and screaming. Like it's fucking disturbing, and like that's the thing with them too is like their whole image, their whole like get up is not just like a gimmick. They were really like tortured, especially in the 2000s. Yeah, obviously they're adults now and they can mostly handle themselves. But yeah,
Yeah.
Subliminal
Like,
Verses also great album.
oh yeah, very solid. Who else do they have? They have.
I don't like We Are Not Your Kind. I'm gonna be
That's
honest.
that's fair, honestly. They have a couple good songs off the album. I
Yeah,
wasn't like
I like
that
Nero Forte.
good as Arrow Forte. Pretty solid.
Yeah,
I
it
think
can't
that's
be.
like their most popular song off the album. I like
Yeah,
it though.
that's more poppy,
Yeah.
and the end so far is not
The end
good.
so far, I just never got into that.
Yeah, no, it's so
The
like
song is
all over the
so good.
place.
I just
I
never got into
totally,
that.
I totally get why they just went back to playing their stuff from like 1999. I understand why, because the
Yeah.
more recent shit is just not it. I think what they're trying to do, and this is just the game theory, I think what they're trying to do is rekindle what they had in the 90s by playing all that stuff like live, and then they're going to go back to the studio and try to make stuff that is like that. That's just what I think. Um,
Uh,
but I think that'd be a good thing for them to do to kind of reinvent themselves, but also still stay like true to themselves. But yeah,
yeah, but for this band is just very influential as well. Just like a ton of fans and
oh yeah, absolutely. All
a
the
ton of
everyone
great
does
songs.
blast beats now like that. Everyone wants every drummer wanted to, and I obviously am not a drummer, so I can't completely speak to this, but I'm pretty sure I'm not lying when I say everyone wanted to be like Joey Jordison.
Yeah. No, I think he is one of the best drummers of all time.
Yeah,
One hundred percent.
for
He is
sure.
definitely one of the best drummers of all time. He just completely like changed
And
the way of drumming. To be honest,
the
there's no
dynamic
one
of
like him.
yeah, the dynamic of Mick Thompson and Jim Root on guitar too was awesome. Is awesome. Um, Corey Taylor, of course, incredible vocalist, very incredible screaming, incredible like singing at times. His stuff with Stone Sour,
I think he's pretty solid with Stone Sour.
yeah, Stone
I
Sour
they have good
is
songs.
another like of the post grunge bands that isn't too abominable versus a lot of other ones. But yeah, Slipknot, phenomenal. Scared everyone as children, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Oh.
the newly reunited. Yeah,
Oh my god.
I hate them as people. The Gallagher's, that is. I don't have anything against any of the other members. I hate them as people, but man, they can make some good fucking music. Like, that's how I feel.
No, that's fair.
I mean, Live Forever and Champagne Supernova alone make them incredible. Obviously, I do think Wonderwall is one of the most overrated songs of all time. That's what I think.
Definitely like that that like that whole guitar part is just so recognizable like so quickly, and then like people just hate it when other people just play it on guitar.
Well, that's the joke now. Is everyone just wants to play Wonderwall and that's all they care about. And like, okay, now I can play guitar. I can play Wonderwall. Like, fucking come on.
It's not a bad song. It's just again overplayed and just I just hear it all the time.
Yeah, and and I think they just have better songs. Like their first album, I think actually. Uh, do I think it's better than their second album? I don't know. It's hard to say. Their first two albums though are like peak Britpop shit. If you want Britpop, you listen to their first two albums, and you got Britpop. You got the best of it. And I know it. Obviously, they're more popular in Britain, but uh, yeah, I think they're really good. I just wish that the two brothers were not assholes, and I'd like them more. But
Yeah.
did you see the like the Twitter post of like the guy like joking about the Oasis reunion and Liam Gallagher
Yeah.
like at like texting back like, "Oi, I meet you outside the pub, bruv. I'll beat your fucking ass outside the pub, bruv." It's like fucking come on, stop being so fucking insecure. Like, come on. But yeah, great band. Best Britpop band, I'd say. Them or Blur. I think Blur is also on this list.
Oh, Blur.
Well,
Oh, Nine Inch Nails.
Nine Inch
Nails.
Nails is a band
Already,
I need to listen to more. Like, I just need to actually listen to
they're,
more.
they're just so unique. Like, there's no band that sounds anything like Nine Inch Nails. Not a
Well,
single band. I no,
Ministry.
I'm just like, I just,
Have you ever listened to Ministry?
yeah, I have, but
No,
I
I get what
can't.
you're saying. I get what you're saying. Cause the term industrial gets tossed around way too much nowadays. Cause every rapper that fucking has some aggressive drum beat is called industrial. Um, and then obviously early industrial was literally just people with fucking cranes on stage knocking them into each other, which was not music. um, but yeah, I think Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor especially. Um,
What a man he is, bro.
yeah, he is Nine Inch
Most
Nails.
talented guys ever, bro.
He scored a fucking Disney movie. Like, that's crazy. That's still crazy. And he's scoring the newest Tron movie too. Tron Ares. I'm excited because obviously Daft Punk broke up, so they're not gonna score it. Um,
Oh, yeah, R.I.P.
yeah, but yeah, the Downward Spiral.
Solid.
That's like the industrial album, I'd say, and Pretty Hate
Yeah.
Machine. But yeah, I just need to listen to more Nine Inch Nails because they're so unique, uh, so recognizable,
Mm.
so influential. Obviously, because like how I was joking about how every single rapper that hasn't like an industrial and processed drum beat is called industrial now. They would not be
Yeah.
using those processed drum beats if it wasn't for Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
So
And we have a buddy that loves Nine Inch Nails, has a shirt of them.
I know.
Like
he
loves that
lives
band.
he lives right
He lives right
right
next
next
door.
door. Um,
He loves the band so much he didn't even know he had a shirt of them.
yeah, he just was he's so oblivious to how much he loved them that he got their shirt and put it on in the morning, and I saw it. I was like, man, you a
Didn't
big
realize.
fan? He got fucking neuralized to forget he even liked the band. Just- but yeah, Nine Inch Nails, I absolutely need to listen to more of them, and Trent Reznor is incredible. Yeah. All right, let's see what's
Oh
next.
yeah.
Looking
Oh
like Bring Me.
god damn.
I
Man.
know you
One of
have
my
lots.
favorite bands of all time.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bands of all time. Cause like their their music is just like perfect for like modern metal. Like they just have a very distinct sound
Incredibly
all the time.
influential
That
too. Like, even though they've only been around for like a little over, well, I mean they've been around for longer than a decade, but they've only been
I
like
mean,
above ground since like probably Sempiternal was when they really broke through, and Suicide Season to an extent. Um, but everyone does choruses like them now. Every single modern metalcore band does choruses like Sempiternal. It's just so they were so influential.
yeah, like I feel like they just completely like one of the bands that revolutionized the metalcore genre
Yeah,
because
and deathcore, and
and
deathcore.
deathcore, yeah. Their older albums were really good though.
Yeah, fucking tell Slater not to wash his dick. It's incredible
Suicide
song.
Season,
Suicide Season.
solid album. That's the
I
Spirit
got
is my
into the
favorite album.
yeah. I got into them with That's the Spirit. I know you got into them with Sempiternal.
I
Um,
did, but I got introduced, um, like they were introduced with Separate Tonal for me, but I got more into them from That's the Spirit.
yeah,
That's when I got hooked.
I really got into that Spirit, but I remember specifically like me, you, and a couple other people would be playing PlayStation, and I would pull up Pray for Plagues, and blow it at max volume into my fucking like $30 uh, microphone, and just like kill everyone. And Mr. Nine Inch Nails fan would get very upset. But yeah,
Oh,
both Post Human albums are great. Next Gen is my favorite album by them. I think it's their best album. I know you disagree.
I don't know, but I don't like. I don't hate that opinion. I see why you think it's their best project.
I just literally,
Like,
it's like, I think what takes away from it, I think we have another friend who put it very well. Uh, she said, like, I think the reason that people don't necessarily like it as much is just because they're all, like, a lot of it was already out as singles before the album even came out. So then it was like, oh yeah, it's the new album, but I already know half of these songs, so it wasn't as
yeah,
impactful. But even like the songs that weren't singles, like Utopia, Top 10 Statues That
yeah.
Cried Blood, Limousine. I
There's
wasn't I
so
wasn't
many songs in this album that like I think that should have been singles instead of like
Yeah.
the singles that they released. Like
Really?
honestly, yeah, I think Strangers should have been a song that they kept in the album instead of a single. I think Die for You wasn't. I'm not
Yeah, I didn't
someone
like
that
Die
likes
For You
that
that
song.
much. I didn't
I
like Die For
think
You.
yeah, no, I definitely think Top 10 Statues That Cried Blood should have been one of their singles.
I'm not convinced Top 10 Statues That Cried Blood came out like was written around the same time as Die For You though. I feel like Die For You was.
No, because Die for You was written way before anything.
Yeah, I know.
Like it was released like I don't even know, like 2 years ago I think before or yeah, 2 years
Yeah.
before this whole thing came out.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily like think that they could have done anything better with the singles. I do think that they picked the singles that were good for the time, but I think that yeah, like Limousine especially, that's my favorite Bring Me song in
Lost I think
general.
is their best single though.
Yeah,
Lost
I
I
know
think
you
is
love
their
Lost a
best
lot.
single. I love that
I
song
like
very
Kool-Aid
much.
more, but that's just me.
That's fair enough. Like yeah, no,
But
that's a good song.
that whole album is just fucking phenomenal, and the interludes are super
Very yeah.
cool in like atmosphere
And I
setting.
yeah, I remember watching Fantano's review, bro, and I got so pissed off his
He
opinion, bro.
reviewed Next Gen.
Yeah, yeah, of
Oh,
course.
I only saw his review of the first one, and he said it was pretty good.
No, he reviewed it and he wasn't that crazy good when it comes
Well,
to
he's
music.
not. He's generally pretty critical of a lot of good music. So yeah, he ranked
It,
just for the record, just for the record, he ranked In Rainbows above Kid A in his Radiohead album review, and I wanted to punch my screen. And he ranked Amnesiac at like number 7, which is diabolical. I know you don't know what that means, but yeah, he doesn't have the best. He doesn't have the best takes. Let's just say that.
no, yeah, no. His opinions are very, very controversial.
Yeah, there's a reason they call him Melon or whatever the fuck they call him online. I think they call him Melon. But yeah, Bring Me,
Right.
one of the best modern metal bands, and another great modern metal band, Pierce the Veil.
Oh yeah, another band that I love very much.
Yeah, I am very surface level fan of Pierce the Veil. I only really listen to like Collide with the Sky, a little bit of Selfish Machines, and I don't like the Jaws of Life really at all. That's my kind of.
Fair enough. Like, a flair for the dramatic, I think is one of like not. I mean, they don't have that many albums, but their sound was really good in that album for their first one. Selfish Machines is my favorite album by them. I love every single song on that album.
Hmm.
Fly with the Sky. I think that just would made like that album made him like boom,
Yeah,
like go
for
crazy
sure.
like that, especially with King for a Day
Yeah,
and
King for a Day was just fucking.
Wolves in the Bronx, Match into Water. Like a lot of those songs, they just completely like changed their popularity
Yeah, Hell
so
Above.
much. So yeah, Misadventures. It's a solid album.
I've
I
never listened to
pretty
it.
under. I think it's an underrated album. Not many people are like heavily onto that one. The Jaws of Life. I don't think it's that bad. I some of their not singles. Some of the songs on there like Shared Trauma. So far so big. I'm not that into Resilience. Like I wasn't that into it, but like songs like Death of an Executioner. Love that song. Very good song. Flawless Execution, I could say is a very good song. The
I
title
like
album, the title track is okay. I didn't love it.
I like
Like
Past Nirvana. That's my favorite off that
their
album.
first single when
Yeah, Past
for
Nirvana.
the return, for the return. What was it?
That was my favorite song off the whole album. Yeah, and the
It's
title,
also
it's the
it was
title
definitely
track.
like a new it was a new sound too.
Yeah, Death of an Executioner, Past Nirvana, and Jaws of Life, I think, are the best on that album.
Yeah, my favorite on the album is Death of an Executioner. I love that song.
That's fair.
Well, yeah, honestly, one of the and their Carbon Police cover, love it.
That was a great cover. Um, yeah, There's now two covers of Karma Police that are better than the original. The Pierce the Veil one and Panic at the Disco did a live cover of it, which is also very good. Um, yeah, but also extremely influential in like the kind of, what would you say, like the no, what's the Tumblr, like the Tumblr bands that were very popular on Tumblr. Were they one of those?
I don't
Okay, or MySpace, but whatever the case, very influential.
know. Victor is
All the
lovely,
Oh yeah, he's a great
lovely
singer,
vocalist.
incredible singer.
Alrighty, let's
Speaking of
see.
great singers, David Draymond, baby.
Oh, this band is so good though.
They're another one where it's like every single person had a fucking Disturbed phase. Everyone did.
It's like their old music is just so fucking good. Just can't go wrong with them.
Yeah.
You really just can't.
Yes, like 10,000 Fists. Fucking. It, like it. I wasn't even born when that fucking album came out, and it takes me back to fucking 2005, and I wasn't even alive. Like it's so distinct,
It just
and it's like because the Sickness was kind of like more new metally, and then 10,000 Fists was more metalcore, and then by the time they came out with Indestructible, they were like they really had their own sound, and yeah, like Immortalized has some fucking bangers on it. The Vengeful One, I think, is my favorite song by them.
mm,
The music video is fucking weird. Um,
yeah, I would say the first song I heard was Stricken.
was
I
that Guitar
think
Hero?
yep, it was on
Yeah,
Guitar Hero.
I
Uh,
remember playing Guitar
it
Hero in like
was
the arcade, and it was on there.
yeah, and I was obsessed with that song when I heard it. Like I love it so much.
That riff is so good. That's one of the best like drop C riffs to play. But yeah,
Oh
David
yeah,
Draymond, incredible vocalist, and I love the fact that he did the ooh wah like as an ad lib, and it's like the most famous thing they ever did, and it was
the
just
only
an
thing I
ad
don't
lib.
like very much, yeah, the only thing I don't like very much about this band is that their most popular song is a cover.
Yeah,
So
no, and it's not even a very good cover, in my opinion. I
it's not that bad.
listen.
I don't hate it. I think it's okay.
This is coming from
It just
some like a massive Simon and Garfunkel stan, which is me. Um, I just think that the original acoustic version is all it should have been, and Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel literally when they made like the electric version, which is the version that most people know, like the Sound of Silence, they know they like the electric version. Um, they literally said like, no, don't do that to the record label, and then they made it anyway. Like, cause their whole point with the song was to make it very subtle, toned down, and then Disturbed made this big grandiose fucking song out of it, which I think kind of goes against the point. But it is undoubtedly a good song, and David Draymond's vocals are
I think he's
incredible on it.
cool.
Yeah,
I think he did really well
absolutely.
singing the song. But it definitely doesn't. I don't think it should have been their most popular
No,
song at all.
not at all.
Not at all.
But
It's not even their song, but it was a solid cover though. I would
and
say
it's
that.
not even like metal at all. So it doesn't even sound like them. It just sounds like
It's not.
David Draymond like just singing. But anyway, yeah, great band. Let's see who's next. Ooh, Smashing
Oh,
Pumpkins. I saw
you
them
know,
live.
yeah. I'll let you go on this one because I'm just like I
Your
don't really have
surface
much to
level.
say about this band. Yeah, I'm just a service level listener right there. So
Well, I have been getting more and more into them recently because I've gotten more and more tolerant of Billy Corgan's vocal style. Um, I used to really hate it. Now I only kind of dislike it. So that's a big jump up. And I do think that his songwriting and his obviously incredible guitar playing, I think that shines through way more than his vocals bring everything down. Um, I think my favorite song by them is "I Am One" off their first album, Gish. I think the guitar playing on that between him and I don't remember the other guitarist's name from that band from the Smashing Pumpkins, but the dual leads that they do is like fucking mesmerizing. And his whole thing with Billy Corgan, that is, his whole thing with the Smashing Pumpkins is he wanted it to be more like a psychedelic rock band versus like a grunge or alt rock band. Um, and especially on their first two albums, Gish and Siamese Dream, that definitely shines through. And on Siamese Dream, they even dabble in some shoegaze, like on Mayonnaise. It's like that's literally a shoegaze song. And for someone like me who loves shoegaze, that's very, very good. Except for when Billy Corgan comes in like, but you know, it is what it is. They couldn't find a better singer. Um, and obviously their biggest songs, like Bowl of Butterfly Wings, 1979, Zero, Today, like they have so many singles that are just incredible. And I do think Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness is like the definitive. What's the word? I said this whimsigoth. That's like a whole genre of like aesthetic. The '90s whimsigoth shit. Uh, it literally, if you look up whimsigoth, it looks like the album cover to Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Like that's literally the aesthetic of it. So extremely influential. Billy Corgan's a great guitar player. He should really stop singing. Um, and I really thought about because they had like an online Instagram uh, audition process for a new guitarist to join, and I heavily considered trying out, and I didn't, and I regret it because who knows? Maybe I could have gotten it. Maybe I could have been on tour with Smashing Pumpkins and Green Day right now instead of just paying an exorbitant amount of money for tickets. But yeah, they were incredible live. Billy Corgan's a really funny guy. Very, um, he's much like Maynard in that he's a very like intellectual kind of guy, but it's not too annoying like some people are. But yeah, I love Smashing Pumpkins. What would you say is your favorite song by them?
um, yeah, I totally agree with this.
Zero.
Sure, Brock.
Oh, Cherub Rock. Fuck yeah.
Yep,
Was that
I love
that
that
was
song.
Guitar Hero, wasn't it?
No, I just
Really? I thought it was a Guitar Hero.
I have no clue. It might have been, but I don't think I heard it from Guitar Hero.
Okay,
Really, I just heard it at some point and just loved it. But yeah, that song is probably my favorite song.
that's fair. All right. I don't know if we're gonna get to this whole list.
No, I mean we can do another part
Yeah,
of it.
we can stop here and like
We
pick it back up. That's actually a good
we
idea.
can yeah we can do like one or two more.
Oh, is it gonna make
Oh
it?
yeah, oh yeah, oh this band, oh, uh, one of the greatest bands of all time. What is it?
Whoa! Slow your roll there. Slow your roll.
I'm
You
saying
think
that
they're one of the greatest bands of all time?
I do think they're one of the greatest bands of all time. Like you gotta understand, their music was just I don't know, just so influential. Like I just really don't know what to
Absolute.
explain.
Well, I mean, every single post grunge singer wanted to sound like Eddie Vedder, and they failed miserably. So you're absolutely correct. But like, I don't think, other than 10 verses and Vitalogy, I don't think they got much else, honestly.
Yeah, I
And
guess maybe one of the most I guess influential bands from the decade. I guess you could say maybe.
yeah, from the 90s for sure. Absolutely. I mean, 10
But
alone.
yeah, I mean some of these other albums were pretty underrated though. Like
Which ones? What?
I would even like Yield. I thought was a good album.
Never and I never listened to it.
Uh, uh, you should. It's
Okay.
good. Their title, not their title. Their self,
With the avocado?
their band. Yeah, they come with avocado.
Why the fuck is that the album
It's
cover?
I can't tell. I cannot tell you why, but I think it's a pretty underrated album. Like you just gotta really like. Their more recent music isn't good. It's just kind of there, but
Okay.
their old music is
I might have to
like
listen to Yield then, but
amazing.
because I have
Yeah.
not listened to that. But I do think with 10 and verses alone, I think that they are certainly like, well, what would you say are the best is the best grunge band?
Best grunge band.
I mean, all
I
the
mean,
grunge bands are on this list, but like,
there's a lot of them.
well, I mean,
I mean,
like, because they're all so good in their own way. Like Alice in
there's a lot.
I don't even think they're better than like Alice in Chains though, like Pearl Jam. So I don't know. I'd have to listen to more Pearl Jams to make a like definitive view on them, but I, I'm not sure I agree with your take about the one of the best bands of all time. But you know, you're entitled to your opinion, so it's all you. But anyway, all right. So yeah, my favorite song by them is Black, though. How about you?
It was that or Jeremy.
Oh, Rolling Stones, classic.
What a band! What a band!
They're like the blues rock dad band. Mick Jagger is fucking 170 years old, and so is Keith Richards.
Keith Richards is like 170 years old.
I know, and they're still going. What's your favorite song by them? Would you say?
Uh, hold up. Hold up. What was it? Painted Black. Uh,
That was
what?
in the
Painted
Black Ops
Black.
Street
Painted Black. Painted Black. Yeah, that song.
Black Ops 3 trailer, baby. That's how I remember it. I remember playing Black Ops 3, listening to Painted Black, like, oh my god, I'm in the trailer. It's fucking stupid, but yeah, give me Shelter is my
Never,
favorite by them.
yeah, I never really like. Again, I was one of those surface listeners. I just never really got into the band
I
much.
don't think many people have, which is funny, because like surely someone needs to just be a massive Rolling Stones fan, but I have not met that person.
Yeah, that's
You know,
definitely not me
they're
right
one of,
there.
they're one of those classic rock bands that I feel like everyone knows, and like everyone knows at least one or two songs, but no one like really loves the Rolling Stones. It's a weird, they're a weird band in that way. But Mick Jagger, super iconic voice. Um, Keith Richards, super iconic guitarist. So
Very
yeah,
iconic band.
very iconic band, believe it or not. So
Most popular bands of all time.
absolutely one of the highest selling bands I think of all time, if I'm correct. But oh, who's
I
that?
guess.
Is that Pantera? That's
Nah, that's
Pantera. That's
shout out to.
the Confederate Boys. Fuck yeah.
I saw them live.
You're so lucky, dude.
They
This,
opened for Metallica.
yeah.
So fucking good, bro. I I love their music, man.
I think Dimebag Darrell is top 20 guitarist of all time and one of the best metal guitarists of all time.
Cemetery Gates is my favorite song
Cemetery.
by them. I love that song.
I'm,
Love it. I
I'm,
think it's one of the most beautiful songs ever written. I'm not even gonna lie with you. It's just a really good song. You just gotta like listen to it throughout, like throughout the entire song multiple times. You just gotta understand how good of a song this is.
yeah.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, Domination Live is one of the greatest things of all time.
When they played this song live, bro, oh, it was amazing.
Well, that fucking breakdown after the solo is like the heaviest thing of all time.
They played One Left too. That was lit.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just fucking absurdly lit. But my favorite's "I'm Broken" by them, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Far Beyond Driven.
and that's another album I'm pretty sure went to number one on the chart. and it was fucking blast beats and screaming everywhere. Like there are only a couple bands that can do that, and that's incredible. Yeah, 5 minutes alone, like Planet Caravan. Yeah, but Cowboys from Hell, I'd say, is probably their best album. And great, and Floods is one of the best like guitar solos ever.
Yeah, no, this band is very, very, very
One of, and I think the Punk Rock MBA made a video about them, and he said it best. He said, "How can you go back to listening?" Because he's saying like in the time frame of like the early '90s, how could you go back to listening to like hair metal and like Motley Crue after listening to Pantera? Like you just can't. It's like that's like the next step because they introduced this like hardcore punk kind of element to the metal, which has persisted, and this sense of like groove and rhythm and shit has persisted ever since. And everyone shreds like Dimebag did. Um, Everyone screams like Phil did. Everyone drums like Vinny did. I'm pretty sure his name was Vinny, right? Vinny, yeah. Um, Vinny Paul, yeah. And Rex Brown, incredible bassist too. Yeah, they're literally. I think they're one of the best metal bands ever, for sure,
yeah.
for sure, for sure. One of the most influential, absolutely. So
Phil is
Phil is a white supremacist,
bro.
but that's
Yeah,
okay. We
that's
forgive him.
besides the point.
Is that Soundgarden or the
No,
Eagles?
it's Soundgarden. No, it's Soundgarden.
Chris Cornell was the greatest singer of all time.
You 100% believe
I
that?
him or Robert Plant, or like Michael Jackson. That's like those are the three. Well, for guys at least. I'm not as familiar with girls, but for guys, lead singers, it's Chris Cornell, Robert Plant, or Michael Jackson, or
That's totally
maybe Chester, but oh my God,
his range was crazy. Like he really had a
Cornell you're talking about, right?
yeah
Yeah,
Cornell.
yeah, absolutely, and he could play guitar while doing that, like incredible songwriter too. His stuff with Temple of the Dog was great. Soundgarden, obviously, Super Unknown is probably like I'd say at least like the second best grunge album ever. It's like I'd say like Nevermind and Super Unknown is probably the two best grunge albums. I think that's fair. And they incorporated like elements of like doom metal and like Black Sabbathy type of stuff, um, which was super unique for grunge because grunge was mostly influenced from like hardcore, and obviously Nirvana was influenced by like the Beatles and shit. But yeah, Soundgarden took in that kind of doom metal-y stuff that Black Sabbath was doing and incorporated it into a very accessible format for like people that just listen to alternative rock. And yeah, super influential. Chris Cornell, man, what a voice, what a
Yeah,
voice he
and
had.
being with Audio Slave too, bro. He cooked
Yeah,
that
Audio Slave
band.
too. Holy shit.
The
Fucking
album
I Am the
too, like
Highway. I Am the Highway. Oh my
Show Me How
God.
to Live. Like it was such a good
Oh,
album, and like
of Super Unknown, The Day I Tried to Live.
mm,
That fucking song is so good. And Burden in My Hand. There are just so many good Soundgarden songs. But yeah, Super Unknown is like quintessential listening. And Bad Motor Finger. Yeah, but Soundgarden is incredible.
yeah.
R.I.P. Chris Cornell.
Oh yeah, man.
It's crazy that like, oh,
No, Silverchair.
Silverchair. This is like,
I
this is
didn't know the band until you showed me them. Like
yeah.
I
Well,
really
there's a funny story with me and this band and how I got into them. It was when I had just first gotten Spotify. I had previously just listened to music on YouTube, and I had just gotten Spotify, and This is back when they did like the, well, I think they still do, but I don't listen to them anymore. But they would do like daily mixes of like songs that they think you'd like, and I saw this album cover with a frog, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of awesome. And the song was Israel's Son by Silverchair, and immediately that fucking bass riff in the beginning, I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And then the guitar, it was such a killer riff. The guy's vocals were like blowing me away. What's the guy's name? He's Australian. He's fucking sexy. What's his name? I'm gonna find his name. Uh, Daniel Johns. Daniel Johns. That's his name. And yeah, he was like a fucking 15-year-old. He was younger when they made Frog Stomp than I am right now. That is absurd. And yeah, that whole album is great. What's a deep cut off that album that's super good? Fault Line and Leave Me Out. That riff. Yeah, but Frog Stomp I think is the best. Is it the best post grunge album? I think it might be. I think it might be. It's so, all the
I
songs
still
are
can't
so
believe
great.
they were like that young when they released.
Yeah, I know. They were fucking
Like,
15 years old, Michael. We were 17. We're cooked.
I mean, it's all about luck.
Well, it's also because they were from Australia and they did like a band contest, best band contest, and they were up against actual people that lived alongside kangaroos in the fucking outback. So I wouldn't say it was the best competition, but it is what it is. But yeah, Silverchair are one of the best post grunge bands. Probably the first. I think I learned the term post grunge because of Silverchair because I watched videos about them. But I do wish that Daniel Johns like expanded his voice beyond just trying to replicate Kurt Cobain, especially in the beginning of their career. Like later on with what was the album? Young Modern they made, which was a bit more poppy oriented. Um, he kind of changed his vocal style to one that was more fitting for his voice, and it is fucking incredible. Like Straight Lines, the single off that album, like his vocals are remarkable, and he doesn't really sing like that on any of their other stuff, which is kind of sad because he was just trying to replicate Kurt Cobain's style, which was not really as good for his voice, but that was just what a 15-year-old who liked Nirvana wanted to do, and you know what? That's totally fine.
They definitely like definitely worked. I mean,
For sure. Yeah. All right. But yeah, that's Silverchair. Also, a very underrated band, I'd say. Nope. Is it Arctic Monkeys? Looks like it's gonna be Arctic Monkeys. I think they are extremely overrated. That's what I think. At least their more recent stuff. I think their earlier stuff is good.
that's fair.
But yeah, 53 million monthly listeners is diabolical.
Yeah, I never really like got into Arctic Monkeys. I just never found like anything like that would just interest me that much. I mean,
Yeah, AM's
like
like,
songs from that album just never got me hooked on them. I know that it's like their most popular album, probably.
yeah, for
But
sure.
like I want to be yours. I just am not a big fan of that song. I would probably say Argue Mine is their best song with those popular songs. I guess you would say.
Yeah,
So
but like
Big
I'd
Song.
say whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not is their best album, and that was their first one. And like, yeah, like I bet you look good on the dance floor. Like that's like, and they just got poppier and poppier and so watered down to the point that it was like, it's like what even is this? Like their newest album, The Car, like what the fuck? Yeah,
I didn't even even
I
bother
didn't I
listening
didn't
to it.
bother listening to it. I just heard it was fucking terrible. And like none of those songs are popular, I don't think. And everyone just listens to AM, which is like annoying. And like they almost drove indie rock into the ground because it was kind of on the come up in the late 20 or the late 2000s, and then they just popified it to such an extreme that like only they could prosper, and then everything else kind of got shut down, which is sad because indie rock could have really gone somewhere. But you know, when you lose bands like Arctic Monkeys and Fall Out Boy, and when they become so poppy, you know, it doesn't
Just
work
doesn't work.
anymore. Exactly. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Arctic Monkeys, especially recently.
Eh, that's fair. Yeah, they're just not the same.
Oh well, here we go.
Oh, what a band!
What
What a
can you
band!
say about Nirvana that hasn't been said about this gum? It
I
lasts
mean,
a little while, and then it gets super super good for a little bit, and then you spit it out, and that's it. That's kind of what happened here. I mean, I am kind
I
of
wish they lasted longer.
I I agree with what a lot of people said. Have said about Nirvana is Kurt Cobain was never meant to grow old. That's what they said. He was never like Nirvana's whole thing wouldn't have allowed them to ever like grow old together, especially Kurt Cobain because he was just so troubled that it was never going to happen, which is really a depressing thing to say, but I've heard that echoed a lot, and I have to agree to a certain extent. But
That definitely makes sense. I see what everyone means and
yeah,
why others agree.
yeah, but I think that the first half of Nevermind is like actually perfection. Like I don't think there's much better than that. At least in the alt rock or even just the rock circle in general. Like how can you beat Smells Like Teen Spirit, In Bloom, Come As You Are, Breed, Lithium? Like how could you beat that? And then like after that, you got Drain You, you got Lounge Act, you got On a Plane.
Oh,
What?
stay away, bro. Like
Yeah,
that
I
album was just really good.
an extreme like beyond influential.
Yeah,
Like literally every single person after Nevermind should cite Nevermind as a influence because either they directly or someone that directly influenced them was likely influenced by Nevermind. It was just beyond
like
massive.
also imagine the baby who's
That
on the cover.
sued,
Imagine him now. Like
and you know he's like suing them constantly.
really?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the baby who is on the cover, he like constantly sues the band because it's like child porn, and he wasn't like properly compensated for it because he was a fucking baby.
I guess it's a fucking baby.
Yeah, and he always loses the court hearings. But yeah, I think Bleach is super underrated, especially songs like Blue and School, Love Buzz, Negative Creep, Mr. Mustache, Sifting. Like they have a lot of great songs on Bleach that a lot of people just have never heard because they only listen to Nevermind and In Utero, Scentless Apprentice. Holy shit.
Song Apprentice is crazy accent.
So fucking good. And Heart Shaped Box, of course.
Oh yeah.
The song that I shouldn't say the name of on YouTube. Very
Does it
good.
start with an
Dumb.
R?
It does start with an R.
Okay.
Um,
RM. RM. If you know,
yeah,
you know.
RM.
You know, you know.
Yeah, all apologies too, with the strings and shit. It's great, and the unplugged version is very good too. Oh yeah, we can't. We have to talk about unplugged. MTV Unplugged.
They're plugged.
They had the best.
I
unplugged set of anyone, because like they actually like, well, mainly Kurt Cobain, like made it a mission to purposely like make it super toned down, and like he purposely didn't play many like hit songs. Like the only hit he played, I think, was like "Come as You Are" and "About a Girl," and like maybe you could say "The Man Who Sold the World," but that more became a hit after the fact than like while it was going on. But yeah, and he did like all the covers of weird songs like "Where Did You Sleep Last Night" and "Lake of Fire" and shit. But yeah, Unplugged is one of the most well known concerts I think ever, which is insane. Um, so yeah,
Definitely one of the most known and influential bands of all time. Like,
for sure.
no doubt about
And
it.
they're one of those bands that every single girl just has a shirt of Nirvana, and only 50% of them can name you a song. It's they're like Metallica in that way. But for sure one of the best bands of all time, and it's very sad that they didn't get more stuff out. But yeah, it is what it is. All right, I think we'll do like four or
Let's do
five.
one more after this.
One more
Oh
after
yeah, I was
this.
gonna say.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do one more after this.
Yeah.
REM.
I really don't have much to say about this band. I'm
I
not gonna lie
have
to you.
I have a good amount to say about this band. I think probably the biggest reason for alternative rock from the 90s to blow up in the way it did, because every single record label wanted to get the next REM, because REM like kind of blew up in like the mid to late 80s. So by the late 80s and early 90s, every single, well, very early 90s, like before Nevermind, every record label wanted to get the next REM. And that resulted in bands like Sonic Youth and I think even Dinosaur Jr. maybe. But a lot of like alternative rock bands that would not have gotten record labels, it led them to get record labels, and then that led to Nirvana getting a record label, and then of course after Nevermind came out, all hell broke loose, and every single fucking alt rock band with a slightly like grungy aesthetic got a major record deal, and then put out the best decade of music of all time. Um, so I think REM is way more influential than people give them credit for, and Michael Stipe is an incredible vocalist. Um, what's their guitarist name? What's their guitarist name? What's his name? Oh, he's such a good guitarist. What's his name?
We find out.
Yeah, mom just came in the room. That's okay. Anyway, no, I did not find his name. I think it was. I think it was. I think it was Mike Mills.
REM.
I think it was Mike. Oh, Peter Buck. Peter Buck. Peter Buck. Peter Buck. Peter Buck. Peter Buck. It was Peter Buck.
Peter.
It was Peter Buck, and he has
Harold
a
Berry.
he has a very distinct sound. Very jangle poppy, kind of Smiths esque, but he was doing that before the Smiths, like before Johnny Marr did, and yeah, incredibly influential band, and they have some bangers. My favorite song by them, let me see what I think it is, because I can't think off the top of my head. It might actually be Radio Free Europe, honestly, or Near Wild Heaven. Near Wild Heaven is super underrated off Out of Time, because everyone just thinks about Losing My Religion or like Shiny Happy People off that album. But Near Wild Heaven is super fucking good. And then obviously like It's the End of the World as We Know It, The One I Love, Everybody Hurts. They have some incredible songs, and I need to listen to more of their stuff. Um,
But yeah, I just really never got the chance to get into it and just listen to that many songs by them.
yeah, but
So I just never had much to say.
yeah, well, what I say is they're like the American version of this of the Smiths if their lead singer was less douchey. So that's what I think. But yeah, REM great band. Let's do two more. We can do two more.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we're gonna make this a multiple part series because this is taking way fucking longer than I thought.
There's no way we would have been
We've been
doing this
recording
long.
for an hour 35. Oh,
Oh,
good
this
band to
band
talk
I
about.
love. I love this band. I love this band so
Yeah.
much.
All right. Well, you can start the discussion while I look their shit up.
Well, I mean, again, I think as many other bands, they have a very distinct and unique sound.
For sure.
Uh, like Benjamin Burnley, like he is such a good vocalist and guitarist. A lot of their songs and albums, um, I would say probably my favorite song by them is "Dance with the Devil." I would say maybe or "So Cold." Honestly, those two songs I love
What
very
is
much by
Dance of
them.
the Devil on? Is that on We Are Not Alone or something?
Huh?
What album is that on? Dance with the Devil?
Phobia.
Uh, I don't recall that song. Yeah.
Solid song. You should listen to it.
Yeah, yeah, well,
But I do think
Dark
Dark
Before
Before
Dawn is their
Dawn.
best album.
Yeah, I do think
Yeah,
that.
I think it's their best album. Angels Fall, man. Holy shit. I was so big into that song for such a long time. And
I was into Close to Heaven. I love that song.
yeah, I know you like I think we listened to that
Never
on a
Again.
bus ride to bowling.
Never Again. The Great Divide. I love those songs. Like the whole album is just really good.
Yeah, I'd say that they're like I think what I said to Juan is they're like the more metalcore version of and like the second step for like a Linkin Park type of thing. They're like the more metalcore post grungy take on what Linkin Park was doing a couple years earlier. That's what I said to Juan, and I think our friend Juan, and it's funny he was also mentioned in the last Yap session, and he's getting mentioned again. But yeah, I think they're awesome, and I had a very big phase of them, and their song that they made for Halo 2 was
Yeah,
was was very good, and I had to learn it on guitar, even though I was not nearly a good enough guitar player
well
to
done.
play it.
Well done.
But yeah, Breaking Benjamin is phenomenal.
Yeah.
When's the last time they released an album? I don't think they've released an album in a
Uh,
while.
2020.
Yeah, it's
But
been a minute.
that that wasn't even like in the actual album. I think there no
Oh
the
yeah,
last one
that
that
was
was
the
sampled.
Aurora album,
Yeah,
right?
no, Aurora. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that was
Aurora
just
was
like
2020.
covered. That was like acoustic.
Their last actual album was in 2020.
Yeah, damn, that's really been a
Yeah, it's
while.
been a while. Like, I think they need to go
I
back
know they
to
made a
it.
song with like was it Star Slate? What was it?
Oh, it's Starset. Yeah.
Starset. Yeah, yeah. I know they made a song with them, but yeah, Breaking Benjamin needs to make some more music that is similar to Dark Before Dawn because that album's great. Almost a decade old. Jesus. All right, last one for tonight. Is it Queen?
Queen. Okay.
I have a lot.
Okay.
I have a lot to
I,
say about Queen.
I have a good amount to say about
The most overrated band of all time,
Queen.
and that's what I
But
think. And I'll say it with my
no,
chest out.
that's definitely understandable. Like because there's so many
Listen,
songs that just are just so overplayed.
listen. I think that the four of them are all incredible. Freddie Mercury, Brian May, was it Robert Taylor, Roger Taylor?
Roger
Yeah, Roger Taylor and John Deacon. All of them were incredible. Are incredible. The ones that are still playing. Um, but I really don't get the hype. A lot of it. Like I understand to an extent, like why they're so big, just because they have so many. They just have so many songs. Like literally look on Spotify. Like look at how many songs they have. Like Don't Stop Me Now, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, Under Pressure, and for some reason, Crazy Little Thing Called Love is up there. But like Radio Gaga, We Will Rock You, fucking Another One Bites the Dust, Killer Queen, I Want to Break Free, Somebody to Love, We Are the Champions. Like they have so many fucking songs.
They have
But they,
a ton of hits.
yeah, so many hit songs is the better way to put it. But I think that their sound is very generic. I think that, um, and I just don't, and they're not as influential as a lot of other bands from around the same time period. You don't hear as many 80s bands say that Queen is a big influence on them, like they would say that Led Zeppelin is a big influence on them, or like they'd say that the Beatles are. You don't hear that get tossed around as much. Um, you don't hear like you don't hear Roger Taylor or John Deacon's names come up as much in conversations about the best rhythm section. Brian May, of course, is one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Freddie Mercury, one of the greatest singers of all time, absolutely. But and a lot of their songs end up sounding the same, especially their deep cuts are just not very good. Like, cause for each of the singles that I mentioned, there's only like one or two of those per album, like 11 or 10, like 10 or 11 song album, and a lot of the deep cuts are just not good. Like if we look at, for example, let's look at A Night at the Opera, right? And we look at like that's the one with Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, what other songs are on here? Like Death on Two Legs, I know that song. I'm in Love with My Car, I know that song. You're My Best Friend, I know that song. What the fuck is 39? What is Sweet Lady? What is Oh, I know Seaside Rendezvous.
There,
What is The
there are
Prophet
a lot of
song? What the fuck are these
there are a lot of
songs?
songs that like very popular songs on these albums, and then you don't know the rest of the
Exactly.
album. Like
But especially in the 70s, there were so many other bands that were just making actually masterpiece albums, like entire albums of literal, like just like songs that are just better than what are like the songs that are filling up A Night at the Opera are not nearly as good as something that's filling up Led Zeppelin's 1 through 4, like any of those four, and this is just A Night
yeah,
at the Opera. Like it's the worst stuff between Led Zeppelin 1 and 4 is still better than half the stuff on A Night at the Opera.
didn't you? Didn't you? Or I don't know if it was you or someone else, but didn't one of you guys say that you did not like the song like Fat Bottom, not Fat Bottom Girls, Bicycle Race? Was
That
that you?
well, I just make fun of it. I don't hate
I
it.
thought you really. I thought you really didn't like
No,
it.
I don't have an opinion either way on Bicycle Race. I just make fun of it a lot. I just go, I want
Well,
to
yeah,
ride my
that album.
bicycle.
I. It's not. I just don't know much. Besides, Don't Stop Me
Yeah,
Now,
don't stop
Fat
me now.
Bottom Girls,
Bicycle Race, Flat Bottom
Bicycle
Girls.
Race. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Like I just don't know
And they
anything else.
also influenced. They also influenced like the whole glam aesthetic, which I just really don't like very much. And the one thing with them that I think is their saving grace is they directly influenced the creation of punk through being so glam that the punk people like they're so fucking glam. Let's be super dirty and grungy and grimy and shit. So then they made punk, which came out of hating on Queen. So or bands that were like Queen, so like Led Zeppelin as well. But yeah, I don't think they were that influential outside of that, and not a great influence inside of the circles they didn't influence. And I don't get why they have fit. Well, I do get why, but I don't get why they. It's hard to say, but I don't understand why a lot of people listen to them that aren't just either nostalgic like because they're super old, or that are actual children.
Honestly, like I would say, like one of their more, I feel like one of their better songs in my opinion. It's not like it doesn't sound much the same as their very popular songs, but one of their underrated songs in my opinion is the title track from the album Innuendo. Released
Innuendo,
Innuendo. That song,
Innuendo is a great
I
song. That's their
I
best.
love that song.
That's their
I love that
last
song.
like really good song. Was
I mean, the
Innuendo.
show must go on was such a
Show
good
Must Go
song.
On is also pretty good, but I think Innuendo is probably their best. But didn't that come out in the 90s? Like
What?
91? Wasn't that like 91 that song came out?
Yeah, that was like right before Freddie Mercury died.
Yeah, Innuendo was 91.
Yeah,
But
he died the same year.
I know.
It was released. So it was released February 4th, and he died November.
Yeah.
And then yeah, they released after his death, they released Made in Heaven.
Yeah, which was like
Yeah, it was just
an emotional little album, yeah.
yeah, and then they just kind of stopped from there.
Yeah, I
And then the other thing with Adam Lambert, he
I
was
think Adam Lambert is a good singer.
yeah,
Um
he's on his own, but it wasn't. I wasn't with the hype of him singing.
neither am I, and
I just think Queen should have just like not been a thing after Freddie's death and John Deacon leaving. I just feel like Brian May
yeah.
and Doug Taylor shouldn't have continued the band with another person, or just tried just I don't know just doing more with it.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to. I feel like if they were gonna do that, they should have maybe made more music, like what Linkin Park's doing. I feel like if they had tried to actually expand on Queen in some way, but it was also like because Linkin Park only stopped for like 7 years. Queen stopped for like 20 years before they started again. You know, there's a big difference there, and they haven't. I don't think they've released any new music with Adam Lambert, have they? I don't think they
No,
did.
they haven't. They just played live with him.
Yeah, they only play live with him, so like I don't get the point. But yeah, I think they're the most overrated band ever. They're in far too many discussions for the greatest band of all time, and they're just not at all. And I have nothing against them. I
Yeah,
I
no,
had a
they're
massive
a great band.
I had a massive phase of listening to their music exclusively, but I also had a massive phase of listening to exclusively Imagine Dragons. So that says a lot. But on that
They
note,
should be on this wheel.
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about them right now. They fucking suck, and they're not rock, and they shouldn't be on the rock charts because they're not fucking rock. But um, yeah. On that note, I think we're gonna end this part of the whole the 100 bands wheel because we have been doing this for a very long time. I think it's been an hour and 50 minutes almost, and I don't even know how many bands we got
How many
through.
do we, yeah, how many do we have left? Like, I don't even know.
I don't I don't know how I can see that. 70. So we got through 30.
30.
That's it.
This is gonna be like a 3-4 part series.
Yeah, three part series at least. Um. So yeah, this is part one, I guess. But yeah. On that note, I'm gonna call it here. Uh,
Yep.
check out Michael. I'll link his channel in the video description. But this has been fun. If you have any thoughts on any of the bands we talked about today, feel free to leave them in the comments. But all right, thanks for watching. Bye bye.